Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the one, the only, you guessed it, Zebec. I almost said turbo. I almost said turbo out of habit, but Zebec network is the crypto we are talking about. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we can see Long Bond has said at Kraken, the big 150, day 150, me asking you to list Zebec. You're so cute when you ignore me. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've done this with other cryptos. Now, obviously, I won't be dedicated every single day, but I am open to doing, a specific raid on a single day where we all tag Kraken, where we all reply under the same post. And that's because, ladies and gentlemen, why the hell is Kraken not listing us? I don't have any concerns when it comes to that, but I'm sorry. I like Kraken. They're fairly big. They're fairly big, but to have the ego of Coinbase or Binance and not list this beloved crypto, what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Yeah, man. Look, I know obviously at the end of the day, they're probably going to list us sooner or later. The thing is, we teamed up with a bank, like a bank that's much bigger than these exchanges. And ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting started. We're going to be teaming up with more banks. We're going to be going worldwide. These exchanges are going to become more and more irrelevant for us. By the end of the day, it's still nice to have on your resume. It is still nice to have on your resume. We can see overall when we go and look at, Zebec on Twitter before we jump into the analysis, right? We see a lot of people are excited. A lot of people are excited about Zebec Network. And yeah, I mean, said, yo, I can't tell by how much likes it's supposed to get. Who needs a chart when you have Zbec? I don't even know what the hell that means. But yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, this is something I did see once again. That boom, obviously, we're at the CBOS event. We do have a lot of cards, which I'm really, really happy to have a lot of cards. The diversity when it comes to customization is always amazing, right? It makes people feel like included. They also can choose different colors, which crypto they want. So it's just fantastic. And we're probably gonna be seeing way more different cards come out over the near future. And yeah, man, I mean, I'm just super, super excited. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump right into this. The real world assets protocols, boom, right? Top five in the last 24 hours. Now, I believe generally that we are going to be one of the biggest real world assets um, in the world, right? In the world. Because think about it, we are meant to be everywhere. Like we really are. You're going to start seeing people paid by the second, and you're going to be thinking, why am I not paid by the second? Why am I not paid out in crypto? Why is this not happening to me? I'm telling you, Zebec is the innovation that will be a a foundation worldwide, and it just makes the most amount of sense, right? It's not something that this company can pick up or this can be used for this specific thing. It's like no, this can literally be worldwide in every single country. There's no reason why it shouldn't be there, right? Like this foundation is literally the floor of real world assets and of crypto, right? Of crypto finances and everything. Like this is literally the floor. Getting paid out in real time. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super, super excited to see the future of Zbec. It's also why I put a very, very big bag into Zbec recently. And I even traded some of my other cryptos that I'm still high on them, but they're just not Zbec, right? And what's the point of having something that you see a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, when you can have a project like Zbec that I see 12 out of 10, right? Like, what is the point? So I swapped some of my crypto for Zbec the other day. I bought a lot of Zbec the other day, and ladies and gentlemen, I am going to the moon. It's either to the moon or to the ground. There's no other option. And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, told my kids our future depends on Zbec. Hope we don't lose the house. I mean, damn, if you put the house on this, Layla, I applaud you because you're going to be having hundreds of more houses in the future, as long as, of course, you sell. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, we're ranked 151 out of 9,499 active cryptos, 352 million market cap, 12 million volume. And when we go and see and how many holders we have, we can see that we are consistently rising, right? We actually went up more than 100, gaining more than 100 holders the other day, which is fantastic to see. We're currently up 10, and I expect to be averaging, at least, like I said, 70 to 120 holders each day. And if we're going to be pumping, well, I mean, those numbers are going to jump to a couple hundred because that's just how it is, right? That's just how it is with the crypto sphere. People get FOMO. They just don't want to miss out. And I understand. Especially for a coin like Zebec. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, right, we can see price action has been updated. And yeah, we've been rejecting off of this area, like we said, right? There is a nice little zone right over here. Boom. If we take this, right, we can see there is some type of resistance. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, right, we have this high, this high, this high, and this high. And what do we see? Well, they're getting lower each time. So for me, that's just indications that we are struggling to go up. And I would not expect to see a huge burst to the upside unless Bitcoin goes up, 4 to 5,000 in one day, right? But even then, we don't really have that type of, not privilege, but we don't really have that type of wiggle room to be moving like that because we just moved up a couple thousand over the last 2 days. So I really doubt that's going to be happening. Overall, price action does look fairly weak. So I expect, price to get swept. I still expect this whole area to get swept at the end of the day. It's just super, super weak looking. So I expect something like this, and I expect manipulation to the upside. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of this monthly candle. All right, this monthly candle is coming to an end. The 3 month candle is coming to an end as well. And I overall expect for things to kind of pick up in October and the rest of the quarter. Now, I would be surprised if I was really wrong. Obviously, there's no data to suggest anything yet, but I'd be really surprised if I would be wrong if we do get a weak quarter 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the time to get serious is now. The next few months are going to be the most crucial time of your lives. Okay. We're going to have crypto exploding, and this is the time to get a portfolio review. Right? You got to make sure you have the right cryptos. You don't want any old or dead coins, or you don't want anything that can give you little profits, right? So we provide a portfolio review. We've also been smashing it with the high probability meme coins. We hit an 11x, an 8x, and 5.5x in recent times. We also provide a weekly report on the crypto data, on the crypto analysis, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, on other altcoins as well. You get all this and a bunch more other benefits. Highly recommend joining the private community. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some money. One thing, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to talk about is how there is a very, very high chance that we have rate cuts once again. You see, 93% chance that we're getting a rate cut. And this is, it's some time away. It's practically a month away, but the odds of it really coming against us is very, very low, right? Very, very low. If they already think there's high probability, they already thought, first of all, there's going to be at least 2 rate cuts, even potentially 3 by the time the end of the year happens. You understand? So, with that being said, right, when we did get the rate cuts and now we have a 93% chance of getting another rate cut, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't expect this chart to be switching too much back and forth. I overall expect for rate cuts to be cut at least one more time this year. And there's even a decent chance we get 2, right? There's even a decent chance we get 2. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, look, there's a 2% chance for the December rate cuts that they stay the same as they are now. There's a 31% chance that they will stay the same after they get cut one more time. There's already almost 70% chance that we will have rate cuts again once we have rate cuts another time. Okay. So it just seems very, very probable. Now, of course, this is very, very far from us. We're going to have to see how and monitor. We're going to see everything and monitor everything once it happens. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the times should be very, very exciting. There should be more rate cuts. Everything should be looking good for us. I overall expect quarter 4 and 2026 to be good. And yeah, we will be monitoring everything with Zebec. I expect at the end of the quarter for Zebec to be looking fantastic itself. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just super excited for the future of this coin. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.